A Call to Arms from Blue Dwarf. Podcast voiced by Andy Longman. Original post written by Andy Longman on the 22nd of March 2011. Jay stormed into the briefing room, managing a Dr. Keto-esque slam of the door as he did so. He was visibly trembling. He was totally overrun with emotion inside. Anger and sadness in equal measure, and both were threatening to overwhelm him at any moment, shattering what little composure he had left. Losing his wife was bad enough. Losing his unborn child, worse still, but to also lose his sister in the same day was more than most people could handle, and Jay was struggling to contain his emotion. He knew he had to try to put on a brave face. Yes, he'd suffered a huge personal loss today, but so had most members of the crew. He was their leader, and they were looking to him to steer them through this. He realised that he'd been stood at the head of the table, his fists clenched, pressing into the wood, and his head lowered now for a full 5 minutes, and was yet to say anything, so he reluctantly lifted his head and gazed around at his trusted crew with bloodshot eyes. He spoke, his voice cracking as he did so. As you are all no doubt aware, we have been the target of a major Hymenoptera attack. He paused as he stood to full height. Dr. Keto has told me that we have had over 300 casualties, with another 500 injured. Many seriously. The ship is seriously damaged, but thankfully the wormhole drive is still operational, so we're not quite dead in the water. I'm sure most of you will have heard Queen Brittany's speech, rallying her people to stand up and fight, and that is exactly what I'm here to ask of you. The Space Corps have decided that we are to take no action, no retaliation whatsoever for fear of a war. There were murmurings around the room. Jay couldn't quite make out what they were saying. Well, he continued, I say, to smeg with that. As always, the Hymenoptera have cast the first stone, and as always, the Space Corps want to fall back. They've destroyed our worlds, killed our families, our friends, and we've fallen back. They are relentless, and they will not stop until every single one of us is dead. The line has to be drawn somewhere, and I'm drawing it here. What I'm going to ask of all of you is to join me in striking the Hymenoptera in the heart of their hive. We know where their homeworld is. We visited a few years ago before the Antinoptera crisis. I intend to mobilise everything we've got against them, but the Space Corps says no. So to hell with the Space Corps. If you decide not to join me, well, I won't think any less of you, and you can leave the ship. I'll take the Blue Dwarf in alone if I have to. Anyone who does join me needs to know that you will be disobeying direct orders from command. But I promise each of you that I'll note in my log that you are following my orders. I ask you all to consider what the Hive has taken from us over the years. Consider what we will continue to lose if we allow them to go unpunished for their war crimes. We can't allow them to get away with this anymore. One way or another, the Blue Dwarf, along with the other attack ships who are capable, will be leaving Deep Space 69 and heading for the Bug's homeworld at 0900 hours tomorrow. So who's with me? This podcast is a work of fiction and is no way endorsed, approved, or even liked by the creators of Red Dwarf. For more stories and information, visit bluedwarf.co.uk.